Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to discuss on the very important environmental law topic, that is the National Green Tribunal Act 2010. So let's see some MCQ questions now. The total chapter under this NGT Act is 5, total sections are 38 and the total schedules 3. Please remember these schedules because this is a very common MCQ in UGC NET law, and it came force in 18 October 2010, and the purpose for the enactment of this act is for the establishment of NGT and also for the effective and expeditious disposal of cases relating to the environmental protection and conservation of forest and other natural resources, including enforcement of any legal right relating to environment and giving relief and compensation for damages to persons and property and for matters connected therewith and incidental thereto. Okay, now let's deal with these schedules separately since it is most often asked in the UGC NET. Under Schedule 1, the Act specifies 7 environmental laws. Okay, so only the disputes arising under these 7 acts fall within the jurisdiction of the NGT. So for MCQ purposes, UGC NET will ask they will give 4 acts and they will ask you to identify the odd one out. So you must be thorough with these 7 acts to answer such type of questions. So the question may be like, which act is not included in the Schedule 1 of the NGT Act? So let's memorize these 7 acts first. The first one is the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. Memorize it along with the year, okay? So 74 is Water Act and Water Chess Act is 1977. Then comes the Forest Conservation Act 1980. Then Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981. Environmental Protection Act, everyone must be knowing, 1986, the Public Liability Insurance Act 1991 and the Biological Diversity Act 2002. So I can give a short trick to remember these 7 acts in an order, okay? So a person with 2 water bottles is going for you remember forest to airport, okay? In airport, for the protection of environment, they have given public notice that they should not use these water bottles like plastic bottles but to use only bio products. Okay, remember using this clue, these 7 acts. Then moving to the second schedule. So Schedule 2 provides for the heads under which compensation or relief for damage may be claimed. So there are the heads A to N, that is like 14 heads. Just go through it for general idea, but there is no need to memorize it individually. So let's move to the third schedule. First, let's go through the section 36 for some reference. So, amendment of certain enactments. The enactment specified in the Schedule 3 to this NGT Act shall be amended in the manner specified therein, and such amendments shall take effect on the date of the establishment of tribunal. It is what section 36 is. So Schedule 3, looking to the Schedule 3, it speaks about the amendment to certain enactments. It's not necessary you should read all the amendments, but remember this Schedule 3 consists of like 6 part, okay? 6 part. So each part is nothing but the act which you studied earlier in the Schedule 1, okay? So see, the part 1 is Water Act 1974 and the amendments made to it. Then the part 2 is nothing but the Water Chess Act and the amendments to it. So the amendment to the Forest Conservation Act is part 3 and Air Act is part 4 and part 5 is Environmental Protection Act and part 6 is Biological Diversity Act. So in between the Public Liability Act, that is only omitted under the Schedule 3, which is given in the Schedule 1 only act which is neglected in this schedule 3 is the Public Liability Act. Okay, so keep remember, just remember that, because this may also come in the MCQ. Okay, now let's start with the chapter 1 of the NGT Act 2010. So chapter 1 is about the preliminary. Okay, it consists of two sections. The first one is short title and commencement. So title is National Green Tribunal Act 2010, and commencement we already have seen in the first slide, that is 18 October 2010. Then coming to the definition clause, it consists of definitions from clause A to O. Okay, so let me be very clear from exam point of view. You do not need to create some mnemonics to understand all these words, to remember all these words, because it is already provided in alphabetical order. You can see accident A, C, E, E, H. So it is in alphabetical order, so the question will not be in that way, but you just have a general reading to uh, give the correct answer in case it is asked like what does the meaning for accident is, and they may give some four options, so you should be adequately knowledge to answer that question. So let's move to the each definitions. So accident means an accident involving a fortuitous or sudden or unintended occurrence while handling any hazardous substance or equipment or plant or vehicle, resulting in continuous or intermittent or repeated exposure to death, injury to any person, or damage to a property or environment, but does not include an accident by reason only of war or civil disturbances. So you have to remember this, the war and civil disturbances and the result of such war and civil disturbances will not come under the accident, but it includes only the fortuitous or sudden or unintended occurrences while handling some hazardous substances, and it must resulted in death or injury to a person or damage to a property. Then moving to chairperson, it's nothing but chairperson of a National Green Tribunal. Then environment includes water, air, land and interrelationship which exist among and between water, air and land and human beings, other living creatures and plants, microorganism and property. So 2C is about environment. Then 2D is expert member, means a member of the tribunal who is appointed as such and holds qualifications specified in subsection 2 section 5 and is not a judicial member. So if there is a expert member, he is not actually a judicial member, but he have holds some qualification as per section 5 clause subsection 2. Okay, then E, handling we have already seen this word in the clause A, accident. So what is handling in relation to any hazardous substance? Means the manufacturing, processing, treatment, package, storage, transportation, use, collection, destruction, conversion, offering for sale, transfer or the like of such hazardous substance is said to be handling. Okay, so F is for hazardous substance. So we have seen that handling hazardous substance. Then what is hazardous substance? It is a substance or preparation which is defined as hazardous substance in Environmental Protection Act, or which exceeds such quantity as specified by the central government under the Public Liability Insurance Act. So that is said to be the hazardous substance. Then injury, that may be a permanent injury, partial or total disablement or even sickness resulting out of an accident is an injury. Then coming to judicial member, we have already seen that expert member. Now judicial member. Judicial member means a member of tribunal who is qualified to be appointed as such under 5 subsection 1. Okay, that is 5 subsection 2 is about expert member, 5 subsection 1 is judicial member and includes the chairperson as well. So 2B, it says about the chairperson, so it includes judicial member is also includes the chairperson. Then I is not necessary, J is not, these questions will not be for the purpose of environmental law, so you can neglect it. But L, schedule, As per this NGT Act, we have already seen there are only 3 schedules. So that keep remembering that, okay? Then it is very important. What is substantial question relating to environment? For that, they have given a meaning that it shall include an instance where there is a direct violation of specific statutory environmental obligation by a person. If there is an obligation under any environmental act and you have involved in direct violation of that, by which the community at large, other than an individual or group of individuals, is affected or likely to be affected by the environmental consequences, or the gravity of damage to the environment or property is substantial, or the damage to public health is broadly measurable. Also, the direct violation, it consists of 3 parts, and the other one is the environmental consequences relate to a specific activity or point source of pollution. So if in case its consequence lead to pollution, then it is also a substantial question relating to environment, and it can be decided by the NGT. That is the point, okay? Then moving to the N class, it is about tribunal. Tribunal means the National Green Tribunal, which is established under Section 3. Then O, workman. Workman has the same meaning as that which is provided under the Workmen's Compensation Act 1923. And the second subsection says that in case there is a word or expression which has no meaning, which has not provided with a meaning under this NGT Act, you can definitely take its definition from the same 7 Act: Water Pollution Act and Water Chess Act and Water Conservation Act and Air Act, Environmental Protection Act, Public Liability Insurance Act, Biological Diversity Act 2002. So this is about the chapter 1. Similar to that, there are 4 more chapters to this act. For continue studying about the NGT Act, you can view to the second part of this video. Thank you.